Okay, so in the last video we talked about how using that super keyword would share everything from school community with any class that has the super keyword and extends school community in it. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about other things that you can do within those subclasses. So here I see that my employee has a name, age, and gender inherited from the school community, but they also have an ID number and a salary. And so those had to be included in the employee class. And those can be set as the employee is set, but notice that either way they are going to inherit things from that school community, mainly name, age, and gender. But the other thing I want you to take note, there's a bunch of methods in there that are specific to an employee. But at the very end, I have another toString. Now, if you remember, back in school community, I had a toString. And that one simply printed out the name and the age. And I guess I could have printed out gender because all school community members have name, age, and gender. So employee also has a toString, spelled the same way, looks the same way, but this time it's a little bit different. It prints out their name by using the getName method. And remember that getName method is going to jump over here and go to the school community to get the name of that employee. But then it also prints out their ID number and salary. And what's more, if you go over here to the student class that I wrote, which is in your key-in, student also extends school community, but student not only includes name, age, and gender, which is inherited from school community, but it also includes an array of integers representing the test scores, a double called my percent, a string called my grade, and a final that's the number of tests. And notice how I made that static, because I don't care if I have 50 students in my class. Well, I do, but either way. If I have 50 students in my class, if I change the number of tests to 10, I want that to change for all of my students, not just for the one student that I'm working with at my particular moment. Anyway, when a student is set up, again, I inherit the name, age, and gender from the school community class, the super class, which is why I'm using that keyword super. But then I also have to now be concerned about the tests and other things that a student might have that's specific to a student. And here I have a little code that just gets the test average for any given student, and I have some other methods in here. But the thing I want to show you most is my toString. There it is again, spelled the same way, same exact method. This is what I'm using here is called polymorphism, and all that means, it's just a really super fancy way of saying I'm overriding the toString method. And Java is smart enough to know when I go test this out, Java will know which toString I'm calling on by the way in which I'm using it. So when you're looking at the key-ins, you'll notice that I have a lot of comments in my key-ins, and that's because I'm trying to get you to see that polymorphism. I override the toString method. It knows exactly where to go based on this, people 0, or s.get test average is referring to a student, so it's going to use the student. People 0, if I go up here and look at what people is defined as an employee. And so it's going to use the employee toString. So it just depends on how I'm using it, which one's going to be called upon. So while you're running through that, those key-ins, please make sure that you're reading my comments and you're seeing how I'm using those things. And that's all I have to say about inheritance and